Okay, so this is a little experimental. This is something completely different that I ever done ever, because I always was bad with words. I never thought I was smart enough to do this, but I trust God that he would give me the right words to say on camera. I can't embarrass myself. So this video is for people who don't believe in God. You ask like why, sometimes they just be like, oh, it don't make sense. If you have anything to say, please leave in the comments below, bro. I'm glad to talk it out. This video is me using fact, historical fact. People like to trust science. Now we're gonna trust history. We're gonna trust history that you're not taught in school. Before I get started, all this information that I've gathered is not stuff that I found on my own. It was from a YouTube video. I can leave the YouTube video in the link. We're gonna start here. Sanhedrin 43a. On Passover Eve, they hung the corpse of Jesus the Nazarene after they killed him by way of stoning, because he practiced sorcery, incited people to idol worship, and led the Jewish people astray. So now you could read this over and over again, but again, this is for the people who don't believe in God and Jesus. First off, if you don't believe in God, one thing that you have to admit is that Jesus Christ was someone who was on this earth. There was someone named Jesus, or it was translated to something else, I'm pretty sure, who was roaming this earth back in the day during that time. As you see, they thought he practiced sorcery, incited people to idol worship, and led the Jewish people astray. They didn't think he was the Son of God. So this isn't something that's just in the Bible too. Again, I feel like this is 1 point to the Christians, 0 points to the atheists. When you show them proof that Jesus Christ was a real person and the miracles that he performed is real, because look, these people said he practiced sorcery. What does that mean? That means the miracles that was done in the Bible actually happened. Because what sorcery are they talking about? They talk about when he cured a blind man's blindness with dirt and spit. Again, if someone wants to comment anything, feel free. The Christians, worship a man to this day, the distinguished personage who introduced their novel rites and was crucified on that account, which explains the concept of death and voluntary self-devotion, which are so common among them. Then it was impressed on them by the original lawgiver that they all are brothers, from the moment that they are converted and deny the gods of Greece and worship the crucified sage and live after his laws. They're hearing about this Jesus guy. They know he did stuff. Josephus, or Joseph. We just call him Joseph. At this time, there was a wise man who was called Jesus, and his conduct was good, and he was known to be virtuous. And many people from among the Jews and the other nations became his disciples. Pilate condemned him to be crucified and to die, and those who had become his disciples did not abandon his discipleship. They're talking about Jesus. Jesus did this, he did that, he got crucified. So it's a proven fact that not only there was someone named Jesus back in the day during a certain period of time, but he also performed miracles. He also performed miracles which people thought was magic, and he got crucified for it. He got killed for it. So the whole story of Jesus happens to be true. Me personally, I didn't even know about all these stuff until a few days ago when watching a YouTube video. At the end of the day, y'all could believe what y'all want to believe in, just me personally, the fact that there's kind of proof. Obviously we don't have video footage, but if you search Josephus 18.3, this Jewish dude who wrote multiple books about Jesus years after Jesus was a thing, I'm pretty sure he's a non-Christian too. Those who had in the first place come to love him and did not give up their affection for him. On the third day he appeared to them, restored to life, for the other prophets of God had prophesied these and countless other marvelous things about him. And the tribe of Christians so called after him has still to this day not disappeared. The thing that I left out on the original one was on the third day he appeared to them, restored to life. And obviously what happened on the third day, he rose from the dead. But regardless, the main argument is, was Jesus Christ a real person? Yes, he existed during the time, and yes, he performed miracles. That's all I gotta say. If you're watching this still here and you already believe in God, you just wanted to hear what I said, I appreciate you for staying by. Thank y'all for watching. Again, feel free to comment what you think. I'm not gonna delete comments. I'm not gonna argue and curse you out. I just want to know some other people's mindsets on how they believe Christ is not real when there's proof. You can't just go by science. Science doesn't make sense. That's all I gotta say. Stay safe. God bless. Please, stay in your word, bro. All right.